The CIA's use of hypnosis has been a topic of interest ever since the release of the MKUltra papers. The two documents we'll be looking at in this video are two of several from the MKUltra collection. Project MKUltra's aim was to explore the use of drugs, hypnosis, and other techniques for interrogation purposes, with a little touch of human behavior modification added in for good measure. The agency's use of hypnosis is still very much shrouded in secrecy and speculation, but the available evidence suggests that they most likely dabbled in it in their exploration into mind control and enhanced interrogation techniques. By using hypnosis to tap into the unconscious mind, it is possible to change patterns of thought and behavior that are difficult to access through conscious means. It's quite obvious how something like this could be weaponized. According to some, these types of projects actually were a continuation of similar work being done during the Second World War. Sidney Gottlieb, who was a chemist and a spy master, served as the head of the MKUltra project, but according to mainstream sources, CIA Director Alan Dulles was the one who formally approved the project's official start date of April 13th of 1953. It's hard to fully comprehend the entire program and the more than 150 funded sub-projects that were sponsored by MKUltra and related CIA programs, because the majority of the records were actually destroyed in 1973 by order of CIA Director Richard Helms. There are a few documents on hypnosis included in the MKUltra collection, so I've decided to isolate a couple of them and go through them in this video. The first document we're going to be looking at here is a paper dated February 8th of 1957, and it reads, "Dear Redacted, we were delighted to receive your most interesting letter of 22nd January 1957. Sorry to hear of the attack of arthritis, and we hope that it is better now. Redacted and I have gone over your material and suggestions and find them very useful." It continues, "Your comments concerning the possibility of making the subjects do something against their ethics or religious convictions were also extremely interesting. Unfortunately, these single tests without proper conditioning or properly building a background are not too valid. In general, your examples cover most of the experience in the field. However, the next time we see you, we will tell you of some unusual work and results with which we are familiar. I found your reaction to the carotid artery technique interesting. Some people insist the technique is very dangerous, and your reactions convinced me that this area could stand a great deal of work. I have not tried the technique myself, but have been present when it has been done. There is some debate as to whether or not this is true hypnosis or a coma-like condition produced as a result of the pressure on the artery. I'll have to start looking for volunteers." While I know it is unnecessary for me to again caution you concerning the highly sensitive nature of this material, I will ask you to destroy this letter when you have read it. With kindest personal regards, very sincerely, again, Redacted. The second paper is titled "The Military Application of Hypnotism." It is dated June 22nd of 1954, and the to and from sections are redacted. It reads, "I choose two practical applications from many with which to illustrate my proposition. 1. The safeguarding of the messages entrusted to couriers. In deep hypnosis, the subject, military or civilian, can be given a message to be delivered to, say, Colonel X in Berlin. The subject may then be sent to Berlin on any perfectly routine assignment. The message will be perfectly safe and will be delivered to the proper person because A. The subject will have no memory whatsoever in the waking state as to the nature and contents of the message. B. It can be arranged that the subject will have no knowledge of ever having been hypnotized. C. It can be arranged that no one beside Colonel X in Berlin can hypnotize the subject and recover the message. This is pretty interesting and shows how very real the power of hypnosis and covert hypnosis is, and where they were considering using this, and obviously from this section here, in espionage situations. This hypnotic messenger, if I may use the phrase, has, in my opinion, at least two very definite advantages over the ordinary courier. First, he will never, under any circumstance, by a slip of the tongue, divulge the true nature of his mission, for the very simple reason that he has no conscious knowledge of what that mission may be. He is merely going on a routine replacement in, say, the Adjutant General's office. This will be his story and the story which he believes. Again, reiterating that they trusted its efficacy through the employment in the espionage and field of delivering messages here, secret messages. Secondly, if by chance he is picked up through a leakage of information from other sources, the message is safe. No amount of third they misspelt it here, third degree tactics can pry it loose, for he simply does not have it in his conscious mind. Even if the enemy suspects the use of hypnotism, the message is still safe, for no one can hypnotize him except this Colonel X in Berlin. May I point out that this technique is one which can be demonstrated under experimental conditions, where you wish and when you wish, allowing a certain amount of time to train the subjects in question. 2. A specific counterintelligence technique to be used against enemy agents. This particular use of hypnotism would be more complicated and more difficult than the rather simple case which I outlined in the preceding paragraphs, but is, I assure you, quite practical. I will take a number of men and will establish in them, through the use of hypnotism, the condition of split personality. Consciously, they will be ardent communists, fanatical adherents to the party line, ready and eager to submit to any discipline which the party may prescribe. Unconsciously, they will be loyal Americans, just as grimly determined to thwart the communists at every turn in the road. So they're basically, this is basically implying that they are able to create alters or Manchurian candidates, splitting personalities that would have no knowledge of each other in a person that can be triggered at any time. These men, again, will have no knowledge of anything that occurs in the hypnotic state, will have no knowledge of ever having been hypnotized, and can only be hypnotized by such persons as the original operator may choose. Consciously, they will associate with the communists and learn all the plans of the organization. Once every month, or at such time is advisable, they will be contacted by a member of our intelligence department, hypnotized, and, as loyal Americans, will tell what they know. This sounds unbelievable, but I assure you, it will work. Once again, the advantages. Your hypothetical counter-spy will be placed in a very difficult situation, amounting at best to social ostracism, at worst criminal prosecution. He will not disclose his true role for the very simple reason that he cannot. Consciously, he is a communist and will not in a moment of weakness admit to his relatives or to his friends that he is anything but a communist. Again, if through some leakage he is suspected of being an informier, his true role is safely guarded, locked in the unconscious and impervious to all assaults from the outside. This last paragraph here reads, I consider myself an authority on the theoretical applications of hypnotism to warfare and would point out that it is a very highly specialized subject. The average psychologist or even psychiatrist is as at much of a loss here as would be the average chemist or physicist if called on to supervise a very specialized project for which he had had no particular training. I claim that I can demonstrate all my particular contentions to the satisfaction of the government agencies and request the opportunity to do so. In closing, may I make one significant point. The Russian literature is hard to get and carefully avoids any mention of the topic in question. Those Russian articles which I have been able to get leave no doubt about the fact that the Russian is just as conversive about the field of hypnotism as we are. Respectfully submitted, name redacted. I hope you liked this presentation, and if you did, please like, subscribe, and drop a comment below, and we'll see you in the next video.